It's hard not to think wheels up.
Yeah, and I'm with you. So like, I can pull up this. I'll share our screen here as we go here. Oops, not that one. Let's try this one here. Right now his ADP is at 35.6. We also have an injury situation to watch with Tony Pollard. Did he get into practice today? Have we gotten that one yet?
I don't think we got that yet, but he didn't practice Thursday, which was obviously like spooky.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see from Chase Brown is a pretty big rise here. I think he's probably capped at like behind DeAndre Swift. Maybe he could pass DeAndre Swift. I definitely don't think he would pass James Cook. I'm going to guess he settles like right behind DeAndre Swift in ADP and approaches like 75% ownership would be my guess by lock. What do you think?
I think that's fair as far as ADP. In drafts, I think you might see something different. I think in drafts he will go ahead of James Cook, but by ADP, I don't think there'll be enough sample for that to take place.
Man, but you guys are really going to force my hand because I love Chase Brown, but I'm not taking him over James Cook at similar ownership.
Can I just give you some just a slight perspective here? Well, one, you have the ownership. Two, Chase Brown right now to score a touchdown is 0.83x in the pick money. That is, that's Derrick Henry level docs on scoring a touchdown, and that could change. That could just be like a quick, like, hey, you're not going to take advantage of us while we figure out what the hell to do with these Chase Brown pick'ems. But currently, that's where it's at.
Yeah, it makes sense from like a pure so that multiplier is being factored in by that team total and then being 7-point favorites. They have the fourth highest team total on this slate. He is going to, and he's been the goal line back, so that actually feels like that checks out to me more. I guess I'm just like trying to not make the assumption that he's like a 90% like full-blown bell cow back. Like I think they're going to use Travion Williams in third down situations. The hope is that like he has a full-blown lock on like the really important stuff, like in the red zone and at the goal line, which I think he does.
Do you think the lack of T. Higgins gives him a boost as well?
I don't know, because we didn't see T. Higgins last week, and I feel like the big beneficiary there has been Gesicki as far as assuming the but yeah, it's a great spot. I'm trying to like pour water on my own enthusiasm because I've already been all over Chase Brown, and I'm kind of bummed. I like didn't want this to happen because I wanted a little shelter to hide, and now we don't have it with Zach Moss out.
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty strong market mover. I mean, not to toot our own horn here, guys, but like we've been pretty strong as far as like moving markets post show after our stuff. So maybe there's a quick little like overreaction to Chase Brown, and then it tempers. I would bet Saturday night tonight you can get Chase Brown in the 6th round, but currently as we talk about this and we pump him up, he's probably a 5th round pick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you speaking dog bowls or 6 mans, Nez?
6 mans.
I assume dog bowl, he's like a late round 2, early round 3.
I think
this.
Yeah, probably round 3.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ownership discount you would get relative to contest, because you're not going to get one into bomb. You're not going to get one in the fullback dive. Dog bowl is 30.
He already goes in every dog bowl. It's just a CLV.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he's 38% owned, he's 38% of dog bowls drafted now. So the BR ownership discount, we're 30% of the way in there. I mean, I'm not sure there's as much leverage as we think.
I agree. I think he ends up like 75 or 80% in BR. Here's where you do it. You do it in the flea flicker. No, he was already going in all the flea flicker drafts too. That one's already over 50%. So yeah, I think it's still a good click. It would be, if you're, to John's point, if you're aping in because of a perceived ownership leverage angle, I think that isn't really a factor. But if you just like the projection and you love the spot comparatively, and that's why I was going through like my line. I think my line's pretty close to James Cook there. After that, it's like the enthusiasm might be a little misplaced.
Well, here,
all right,
who would you? Sorry, I kind of want to ask you guys the question now. Who would you guys prefer this week, James Conner or Chase Brown?
Man, we're blowing up my whole video. I like both of those guys. I think now, like, you're gonna get a similar, if not bigger, touch projection from James Conner at the previous Chase Brown ownership.
Right.
I think if you were asking me fantasy points straight up, I would take Chase Brown.
Yeah. I agree with you, Ness. Yeah, it's really interesting spot there. And then, I mean, you could throw the J.K. Dobbins conversation in the mix there because they're all floating with the same ADP. Like 2 weeks ago, I would have told you that the Chargers were going to come out and try and run all over the Browns. Now I don't know. Now that might be a little bit of a back and forth environment, and maybe that bodes better for J.K. Dobbins. So like this whole ADP like brick here, very interesting to talk through.
It's a really strong running back week. I mean, I think there's a lot to like in every range. The high end, the mid range, which normally is like the trap zone is normally the Gibbs, H-Head, Walker, Cook tier. I like all of those guys. There is a lot to like this week. So it's not the fun answer, but I'm probably going to be pretty mix and matchy with plays. And then it is strong in the scroll down. Like, I think Brian Robinson has merit. Obviously, if Tony Pollard's good to go, he's in a smash spot. Again, keep tabs on if Tajay Spears goes. I like Nick Chubb. I know it's not a great matchup, but his role is really increasing. Should have good touchdown expectation. No Jonathan Brooks. Chuba again. Like, even Tyrone Tracy, if he's cleared, is looking nice with them giving the reins. Like, there's a lot to like down here.
It looks like he will be cleared too, which is kind of shocking to me. We talked about it on Tuesday's show there, Nez, where it's like every player thus far this season has been kind of like a 1 week window to sit out, and he's getting the clear on a short week.
Last year, we saw this trend happen last year too, where early in the season, players did not clear early, and then as the season got along, all of a sudden brains are healing faster. So I'm not going to question it, but that's the way things are trending. And I just want to say on the Tony Pollard thing, it does appear that Tony Pollard is not in the open portion of practice, according to Deron Davenport. And Calvin Ridley was a full participant Thursday, not seen today. So really weird stuff going on in Tennessee.
Do we
Calvin
know if
Ridley
we're
heard
get
Will Levis is back and said, "I'm out. I'm done." Dude, I mean, it looked like Tom Brady and Randy Moss last week with Mason Rudolph and Calvin Ridley. He's like, "You guys are fucking gonna go back to Will Levis right now?" Jesus,
they can't.
Oh man. Did you guys talk about the top end of the draft board yet at all?
No, the main thing we hit without you was we kind of did a deep dive on the Rams wide receiver situation with that injury. But yeah, no, hit on the top.
Well, I think it's one of the most interesting weeks, especially in the 6-persons that we've had in a long time in terms of ambiguity at the top. Most recently, we'd been like so stark in, hey, here's the top 8, here's the top 3, and then, here's the top 5, and that makes up your 8 kind of thing. I think you could choose your own adventure with almost everybody at the top here. And depending what projection model you're looking at, the top, let's call it 6, maybe down to AJ Brown, top 7 down there. People are mixing and matching. Maybe the Tyreek Hill line in the sand there now that you have the Puka Q tag. That kind of whole tier you can just mix and match. I was team CD at 101 early in the week, and then I was pushing up Chase and Tyreek, and then I was kind of taking whatever running back would fall back to me. Stop me if you heard this before. I was a little bit enamored with the Taysom potential, so I was kind of pushing Kamara down a little bit, and then pushing like the Kyron stuff up, and then the Bijan spot looks amazing on paper, even if they get Micah Parsons back. So I mean, you can just tell me a story in there. I'm just curious which story you guys are telling yourselves.
I think the pretty obvious meta is like wide receiver early, right? We talked about how strong running back is, and obviously we're talking 6-person drafts here. Running back, you're at pick 36, and there's still great running back picks on the board. And if you're looking for who has the best median projection, you're trying to do 2v2s there. I think it makes sense to go wide receiver early. However, I mean, if you're at the 1 pick and you're like, you know what, Kyron Williams scoring a touchdown every week, Alvin Kamara is in this spot of his life again. Let me take Kamara and, like, Drake London makes it back to you at the 2-3 turn. Cooper Kupp might not have Puka Nacua at the 2-3 turn. You can take your shot on these, like, extremely projectable running backs and then pair them with these really good wide receivers that have not quite moved the way that they should have yet.
Right.
I would not fault you for that. There's a lot of really different ways to play this, but I think if somebody asked me, like, hey, quickly, tell me how I should draft in the BRs, I would say get your wide receivers first.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think it's a really strong high end tier because even if we lose Puka, like, Cup pretty much backfills this spot here as well. Neighbors, I think, is a really strong play. I guess maybe Gibbs you could push out of that, but I think, like, through Neighbors, even like Amon Ra is in a nice spot. I'm really warming up to this game environment. I think there's a lot of fun ways to attack it, as there always is with both the Lions and Packers. Because it's so spread out, people don't want to pile into it because they say there's no clean way to do it. I kind of like that. And yeah, I love the high end. Again, maybe not interesting, like John was saying, more mixing in matching here. I guess the one guy I haven't been getting to a ton is AJ Brown. Just with, you got to think it's a huge Barkley spot.
I know, right?
With I mean, AJ Brown can break any slate. But as far as, like, I don't know, I guess I need to talk myself into it more. What do you guys think about AJ Brown? Like, is he closer to Tyreek Hill and Amon Ra for you, or closer to Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb?
Absolutely howling at one of these comments in the chat here as we were saying that, but I was fully prepared to come on here, guys, and say that I like Eagles through the air this week.
Okay.
Just in general, like, I think that matchup sets up way better for them via the air. The Jags have been absolutely inept against both facets of the game, but they have been more so against the pass. And those skinny stacks of, like, Hurts and Devonta, like, those stick out like a sore thumb to me right now. I do like AJ Brown this week. I was an AJ Brown guy, and got a nice stamp of approval from Crane's walkthrough this morning there, where he had him on the cover. So I like the air matchup. I can see it going both ways. I've done a little bit of Barkley plus AJ Brown and then just no Hurts. But yeah, I like that one. But this comment in the chat is killing me from Hot Sauce, who is alluding to the fact that he has a head-to-head for crutches for a dog bowl seat today. Or I guess it's today. And then he goes, what do you guys think about the top 8 in 2-man drafts? So good.
That's
so
hilarious.
I mean, for people who aren't familiar, you guys have probably heard both of us or all of us talk about it. They got a head-to-head. So 12 players selected. 2 quarterbacks will be selected. So you're looking at Allen Hurts. Maybe someone goes to Lamar, although with him maybe not practicing, maybe someone spooked there. Tight end, you're probably looking at a Brock versus Trey McBride right there. And then I'm guessing these guys will go 2 running backs. Although there is some intriguing stuff, John, like if you could double tap like Lamb Chase, then do you put a squeeze on like the tier down for your head-to-head opponent?
I think you put a squeeze on it too because of the Hurts being QB2. So the AJ Brown stacked with Hurts thing would be a big question mark, because I don't think you want to have Hurts and not have AJ Brown, or vice versa. So I think putting the squeeze on by trying to get 2 wide receivers early and then picking your poison with the running back stuff would be like my preferred angle. That being said, I think the most likely thing that happens in their draft is one guy takes CD, one guy takes Chase, and then where we go from there. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting wrinkle is the fact that Hurts is QB2. Hurts probably should be drafted. Do you want to negatively correlate against your opponent?
I don't think in this it's so fucking funny. I don't think in this contest I would want to stack Hurts with AJ Brown, because there are so many other ways that like Hurts can still be the optimal without AJ coming along for the ride.
Which means AJ Brown shouldn't be drafted then.
I don't think AJ Brown should be drafted is the take I'm getting to in this contest. I think there's some better floor plays. Hey, you want my cash game shell, it's behind the paywall. We're supposed to be doing scroll the F down. We're scrolling the fuck up. It's like you literally, there's 8 players being taken. Scroll the fuck up.
John couldn't help himself. I was like,
Yeah.
John, it's fine. But oh my god. No, but to talk AJ Brown, I agree with John. Just really quick. I haven't done AJ Brown. Like I'm like you, Pete, where like it doesn't feel like an AJ Brown spot. The Jags are decimated. They've been stinking it up all season. In these game environments, you think run game, you think ground game, and they have Saquon Barkley. Like it's probably a Saquon Barkley game. The saving grace for AJ Brown is like he has the ability to put up like 102 on 4 catches. Like he can do that shit. So, and you want to talk about a great spot for AJ Brown, despite the game script, like John said, it's this one here. And I'm sure if you guys are leg up subscribers, I'm sure Corain does a really good job of breaking down why AJ Brown can just absolutely destroy this team. But, in that same vein, could also be Devontae Smith. So like, any Eagle, I think, maybe one Eagle per BR. I don't know, but it's tough to call. I don't disagree with, your sentiment. Like in practice, I don't have a lot of AJ Brown, but I love it.
The last one I would just add here is some of the coverage stuff to date that Sam Hoppin put together. EPA per pass, the Jags are dead last in the league. Play action, EPA per pass, they're 30th in the league. Completion percentage over expectation, 28. Yards after the catch per reception, they're 30th. Like it jumps off the page to me that like you would want to just hit some home run shit.
Yeah, I think it's also easy to just look at exactly what happened with the Packers last week, a team that is even more willing to throw than the Eagles, and they were just happy to have Josh Jacobs ram it down their throat. Now, granted, Jordan Love left a little bit, and they just said, "Hey, we'll let him do it." But I think the general point is we don't want to be overly precise in how we think the Eagles are going to score their points. It could come in multiple ways, and even if it's 60% likely to happen through Hurts and Barkley, there's still plenty of times where the passing game goes nuke. All right, since we are a little bit behind on time and I want to make sure we can get to everything, let's just quickly hit other scroll down plays. I think we already hit running back pretty solid. Why don't you guys toss out a few, and it can be at any position, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, some of these other scroll down plays. Let's say after an ADP of 34, basically, that you guys like.
For the 6 bands, I really like Kyler this week.
Yep.
It's not a huge scroll. I like Kyler. I'll go back to the Caleb Well on the other side as well there. And I will have some Geno stuff, but that doesn't really surprise anybody. And Derek Carr to Olave or Derek Carr to Kamara, something like that. Play the Carolina stuff through there. That would be my kind of like quarterback scrolls.
Any additional ones that you are messing with here, Nez?
Yeah, I'm into Courtland Sutton this week against the Ravens. I think he's not going to be considered at all by people. He is wide receiver 22, and if everybody drafts 3 wide receivers in a 6-man, obviously quick math, that's 18 wide receivers off the board. And the spread in this game kind of indicates that the Broncos don't really have a fighting chance, but I've been a big Broncos respecter since like week 2, and the Ravens are a pass funnel. This is really how you beat them. And the game script also is telling us that the Broncos are going to have to pass a lot. I like what I've seen from Bo Nix, the ability to run, and what he's done with Courtland Sutton, at least even last week, was promising. I like Sutton as a scroll down here. I think he's really just like not being considered quite enough. And the spot just seems like pristine for Courtland Sutton to have a good game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was looking at the RotoViz matchup rater earlier this morning, and all of the Broncos wide receivers are at the top. No one's clicking Devon Vele and Josh Reynolds and whatever, but just generally, this is a really good matchup for opposing wide receivers. I like that one. I mentioned the Calvin Ridley one before. I'm trying to mention ones that aren't in my my video here. I think Ridley's really strong. Again, I wish it was is Rudolph. And what about you, John? Any wide receivers here?
DJ Moore that goes alongside that same game environment one there. Brian Thomas Jr., who I think is going to play this week and is going to be without Christian Kirk and could push game environment there. Jalen Waddle as slight leverage, and hopefully the foot has healed a little bit more there. And then just taking some swings at Tyler Lockett with the Geno stuff or JSN with the Geno stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be a really, obviously you want DK Metcalf to play just because that just raises the expectation for that game environment a ton. But I mean, Lockett and JSN are going to project like gangbusters if Metcalf isn't in.
If we get no, primarily dog bowl, but he's had a nice role. If we get no Puka Nakua, Tutu Atwell.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. His stuff has been, he was very diminished when Puka came back. And then when Puka's been out, he was like operating as their number one there for, so weird stuff there. Tight end, I think a pretty strong week here. You know, if you use my cutoff of like 34, so after Jake Ferguson, you guys already mentioned the Taysom Hill stuff. I mean, Kincaid in a decent spot. Gesicki, mentioned him with no T Higgins. His target totals in the 3 games without Higgins this year are really strong. 7 for 73 last week, but you know, if he can add a touchdown to that line, you're really cooking. Anything you guys like down here?
Isaiah Likely as a contrarian stack. And oh shoot, I had the other screen up there. Johnny Smith's role has really increased the last 2 weeks, but I'm not sure I'll click it. Maybe just 12 mans only if you get hung out to dry with like a double or something like that. And then Hunter Henry if you get Drake May.
I love Hunter Henry. Yeah. For me, it's Hunter Henry and Taysom Hill. Taysom, thankfully, not getting, I mean, he's like impossible to project, but like ETR, not giving him as much love as I expected. And I love Taysom against this Panthers team. I think they're going to be at the goal line a ton. And I mean, really strong leverage off of top pick Alvin Kamara. And I mean, it's Taysom, man. I don't need to break down the way Taysom can absolutely just destroy a slate. And yeah, Hunter Henry, man. Hunter Henry has been one of Drake May's favorite targets. I think Drake May has been extremely impressive when he's been on the field. And this matchup with the Titans, I've been on record as saying, like, I don't really have as much respect for the Titans as other people do, just based on who they've played. And Drake May trending in that same way that Tyrone Tracy has, where he was an early limited participant. That's what you want to see when it comes to these people in concussion protocols. So, yeah, shout out to Hunter Henry and even Drake May in a dog bowl.
I will just mention, and I know this is kind of an evergreen comment, and we've also had plays hit from this range. It doesn't mean that they can't hit, but this tight end 3 to tight end 6 looks especially fragile to me this week. Ingram, Njoku, Pitts, Ferguson. I am not opposed specifically to Pitts and Ferguson. I would want them to be game environment related bets tied to those games shooting off. Do not love really any of these guys as one-offs when I really like some of these scrolls down there that are legit going to be a third, a fourth, a fifth of that ownership. So I'd just be really careful not auto-clicking these guys outside of game environment stuff and forcing yourself to some scrolls this week.
Yeah, my cutoff would be 3. I'm fine with Naked Ingram this week just because of what I've liked about the role and what I'm seeing in terms of matchup. But yes, the Njoku through Kincaid tier. I kind of like the back end of that more so.
I like Ingram too, but it's hard for me to get him because I'd rather like wait on tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing too, I mean, like he's obviously had big games without Christian Kirk. Like I'm very well aware of that narrative. We're also dealing with a team that has that's kind of falling apart. They have a sub 20 point team total, and we're not getting a full point for his receptions. And he's never been like a huge red zone monster. So like he feels like a guy who could have like a great game, like an 8 for 80 type game. And it just like doesn't even matter kind of thing, because a few of these guys just bink a touchdown and pass him. So that's my only thought there, which means he is going to break the slate. All right, let's hop in here, and we got our Deposit Kingdom League is up, this is our $3 10 max tournament. Shout out to Ty Schmidt for taking down the week 8 edition. We reviewed your lineup on the portfolio review, and you also get a shout out on today's Deposit Kingdom video. But let's hop in here and we can talk through this. I also have the draft caddy here, so we can kind of check some of these projected ownerships right now if we're curious on any of those.
Damn it, I got cheeky. I'm in the overflow.
Ooh.
I don't even try with the small field stuff. I just do it as a team here.
Yeah, that's what so John can't even like do 2 things on his computer at once, but is trying to ape into a second draft on a different screen. Is that really
hey
the
guys,
best?
I'm back. I fixed it this week. I'm back.
You're crispy, man. I'm not gonna lie. You're right on cue. Your timing's good. Camera looks good. You got it all figured out.
You deleted 10,000 poker redacteds from your computer, and now you're good.
More or less, like 150,000, but now we're good.
Now John has no idea what to do with 7 deuce offsuit. He's like, God, I need my Sims.
That's true, man. There's a couple spots that I don't know what to do anymore.
I will say, so one of the things I think about a lot, like in the big BR, where I'll have kind of a fade stance on some of those tight ends I just mentioned, I love getting access to them in the smaller field via double stack. So an example, Cousins, London, Pitts, Dak, Lamb, Ferguson, maybe the Lawrence BT, Evan Ingram's a little too cute, but like that's how I really want to get exposure to those guys. I assume we are all down to take Chase here.
Yeah.
He's been my pick.
Yeah. Kamara goes at 2. Definitely do not think that is bad whatsoever. But like getting Chase's ceiling.
You mentioned the Falcons stack, and I was gonna definitely throw that out there for small field because I've been doing it even in the dog bowls because of like the way ADPs line up. But I think it's super, super viable in small field where like I think that game is going to explode specifically from the Atlanta side. But I think Dallas is finally in a spot where they can have a good game. I mean, we've been saying this for the whole season, like, hey, Dallas can do something here, and they haven't. But I really think this is the spot where Dallas can push the pace. This is a hell of a board so far, and I think that is extremely, extremely bullish for my Falcons this season. So, or this week. So, doing just like a Bijan, London, Pitts, I think is absolutely in play. And very, very gettable this week. I love that London. I mean, I had a lot of London last week. Didn't love that he failed, but I love that he failed because now people don't want him this week.
Yeah.
And just an absolute giga smash spot. So thank you to the field.
All right. Amon-Ra, Puka, Gibbs, Neighbors by ADP. Could scroll to a tight end. What do you guys like?
John, you're good.
Cup
right here.
Okay, I'll take Cup for you. I assume you believe that Puka is not playing if you're willing to take Cup 10 picks ahead of ADP.
That's how I'm playing it. Yeah. I mean, even if he is, like, he came back early in that practice window. I mean, they peppered him with targets in that Thursday night game. But that being said, they did temper his route running and his red zone participation there. I like Cup.
So Nez and I just let the guy who's doing his own draft dictate what we were doing in our collective draft. That's what just
Thank me later, bros.
I mean, he was chomping at the bit to get that takeoff, so I allowed him. I mean, he was shaking in his seat. I'm like, all right, go ahead, dude. Let's hear it.
I have to get it out because Johnny Footballs is in this other draft pissing down my leg with the AJ Brown, Puka Nacua, Cooper Cup start.
Wow. Nez, what do you like here at this spot?
So Gibbs, I think, is in a really good spot, and I love London, like I said, since we kind of made that. But if you don't want to do like a 3 wide receiver start, we don't have to. But I think you can. Yeah, I love London here.
Let's see if we can do a Cousins London Pitts on this team. I was gonna say too, like with that game environment, like if you think about it, Bijan I think can get there in a lot of different game flows. Obviously CeeDee Lamb, like both those guys can have monster games even if the game goes sideways. I think these other pieces, almost all of the other pieces, like I want that game going nutty for them to hit. And London does fall on that kind of tweener range. But I was just talking about him with JM, and he was kind of pointing out too, like what you're paying for often with London is the floor. He has a really good floor because of that target projection. But when he goes nuts, it is in one of those insane Falcons back and forth games. So that's one thing I'm thinking about. Happy to one-off CD and Bijan. But once I start dipping into these other pieces, I think I want it to be game environment related.
I like that shout a lot. One other thing with that game environment, just in general there, Cowboys 32nd, 31st, 32nd in their ability to stuff the run, allowing rush success rate, and EPA allowed per rush. So you could definitely see Bijan just breaking one off there. That favors the run game pretty substantially.
So, Nez, I mean, I'm happy on a Jamar Chase team in small field to do the chase here. Otherwise, if we're doing Pitts and Cousins, this team is already drafted unless you have another running back you like.
I think you do Chase Brown, but
yeah.
Chase times Chase?
Yeah. I think that, like, I understand that the trepidation here and not wanting to get overly excited. If we're talking 20 Chase Brown touches here, I mean, this is gonna look really good.
Yeah,
and it correlates right with the small field stuff. Get the two teammates.
Exactly, and that's the thing to I think really emphasize. I would not build this team in the big BR personally. Like I would not do a Cousins double stack at like fairly high ownership. Chase, we're not going to get a huge thing. Jamar obviously drafted in every one. But like these are the exact kind of builds I really like doing in these smaller contests. Yeah. Because you can survive. Like we've seen it, you know, it was like AJ Brown with Devontae Smith stuff last week, where it's like you get 10 points from AJ, but you also got on a 20 burger from Devontae. Or, you know, we could survive, you know, Chase Brown, or sorry, we could survive, you know, 12 or 15 points from Jamar Chase if Chase Brown goes for 25. And that correlated angle getting us on that spot.
Yeah, it's like one of these guys are going to be what you need. And in the small field, like you can, you know, hopefully get enough that it checks out. I think that I mean, it makes perfect sense.
John, what are you doing over in your alternate reality draft?
I absolutely
Puka Nakua and
just eating that Q-Tech fall. I did a 1-2-2-1 that has a little bit of overlap with you guys. I did a Jaden Daniels skinny stack, Daniels to Terry McLaurin. I did Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, and stop me if you heard it before, Taysom fucking Hill.
Love it. Love it.
Beautiful. So to recap the team that Nez and I drafted with a 10-pick reach on Cooper Kupp assist from John Warner, Kirk Cousins to Drake London and Kyle Pitts, Chase from the Bengals, and then a one-off Cooper Kupp there. I like this team. As I said, Deposit Kingdom, 3 entry max, really fun structure here, 2,000 up top, 1,000 to second. So make sure you guys hop in there and compete with us in the Deposit Kingdom. And we also have the Badge Bros Brawl as well.
Sure do.
John, did you see the messages over here?
Nope. I did not. Okay. Yep.
You good?
All right. You good, John?
Yep.
All right, cool. We are going to hop in a dog bowl draft. I think it's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to all get in the same draft, so we had to to make that happen this time.
Yeah, apologies to the underflow or the overflow this time.
Yeah,
yeah. Usual suspects in here, let me tell you.
There you go.
The influencer.
John, have you done a lot of dog bowls this week? I asked you because I know Pete, let off saying that he got one in, but I wanted to see where you're at.
I've done 5, and 3 of them were on stream. So, yeah. No, I haven't done a ton this week. I was, dude, it took a lot of energy for me. Like I was, Jimmy Bucket's meme yesterday after auto drafting 150 NBAs, dude. That took a lot out of me.
Yeah,
you hand drafted 150?
No, definitely not.
You were tired auto drafting 150. I mean, how many CSV
This is exhausting
batches?
out here.
It's exhausting. The bankroll is your energy source. I get it.
No, I probably hand drafted 25 of them. I just went all in on Grizzly stuff and whatnot. But I was smelling the roses this week, gentlemen. My old ass had a birthday in there and was out there.
Did I miss your
smelling the
birthday? When
roses.
was your birthday?
Wednesday. Yeah, it's always overshadowed by Halloween. I went on a soliloquy about that, Pete, on behind the paywall there. How I've never celebrated my birthday because it's always overshadowed by Halloween.
Wow. I think what did I get? I had Derrick Henry on my first team. I'm gonna do Barkley.
Yeah, go with your gut here. You were saying it's a Barkley week, and if it is a Barkley week, you're looking at like 26 points.
And I'm probably I've been doing between 10 to 20 dog bowls, so I gotta make my my picks count. Friday nights are generally my dog bowl draft night. When Nez fires up the stream, are we getting a no strip stream tonight?
We are indeed. We're back. We're back in business. I got to figure out this lighting situation. It was pretty pitiful last week, so I got to figure that out. But yeah, we're back.
Nice. I will be looking forward to that. That's available for YouTube members on the Badge Bros channel. Speaking of which, John, were you able to get the stream up there and good?
Yeah, we're good right now. It's just there's 2 up now, so it's kind of confusing and whatever. I'll delete it later and then repurpose it and whatever. But it's up now, and there are people there viewing it, and I dropped it on Twitter and in the Discord, so we're good.
Thank you.
Nez is someone who's done a bunch of these. Obviously, everyone kind of knows the traditional differences between the 6 and the 12. Any things that are specific to this week that are playing out? Are these drafters still playing chicken with the quarterbacks? What should us newbies to this 12-person contest know?
Yeah, we are seeing definite QB chicken. We are seeing wide receivers get pushed up. And I myself am taking a huge stance this week on this player right here, Drake London.
Okay.
I'm all in on Drake London this week, and I just don't want to have him snipe from me from Crash Rich, who I know likes Drake London this week as well. And I was going to ask you guys if you preferred left or right side of the board, and I have gotten Drake London to fall a couple times on that early side of the board, but like I still want him. If he's the guy you need, he's the guy you need. So I'm taking them a lot. If you guys can, look at the board here, would you prefer, you think early or late? Maybe I'll let you guys make your 2-3 picks before you answer that question. But I know for me, I prefer where I am at right now in dog bowls is this part of the board.
And I think that's unique to this week, right? Because was it last week? I mean, 12-13 and in some previous weeks just felt like a cliff. And then you're like, all right, I'm taking Lamar and Bowers. And then every other goddamn tight end goes off on the slate. And you're like, I hate this game. So yes, this week when you're able to do Neighbors Cup, Amon-Ra Gibbs, Drake, Kenneth Walker, I mean, that's as strong of a 1-2 side of the board as we've seen, I feel like, in the dog bowl in a while.
Yeah, and I think you guys will be able to speak for yourselves, but I think when you guys get to your picks, I think you're going to be thinking, man, I don't really like these picks. And maybe you'll be thinking more and more, boy, Chase Brown feels pretty good at pick 20.
I love how Dez is like this fortune teller. He's like, I see in your future. You think you'll like your second round pick, but you won't. In fact, you'll hate it. And then you'll realize Chase Brown looks incredible.
It would be such a good bit to do like fortune telling or reading because Bria watches a lot of YouTube on our big TV, and and she loves like the celebrity tarot readings and shit. I mean, I don't want to talk down on it because it is very entertaining and it is for entertainment purposes only, but she is a big believer in that. So there was a lot of time during like Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift turmoil where I'm like, all right, like what have you seen on the YouTube streets? Are they good? Is he like, what do you think? Is he going to have a clear head for this game? Hasn't ever mattered, but just future bits that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, be careful slamming that with I don't know how thin the walls are at your new place, but we don't need you sleeping on the couch this early into your new residence.
And never mind, there goes Chase Brown already to Sir Patrick Barnes, dog bowl seat holder.
Damn, I was Viper. I was gonna be content to do the Jalen Hurts with Barkley. in the dog bowl. I do agree this is pretty gross for wide receiver range here. We're then down to the Cook Swift. So to me, this does feel like a onesie play. I've been happy to take Bowers at the 1-2 turn and some other ones. So we will take him. I never love my teams when I do early tight end. But as Nez predicted, Miss Cleo Nez, I did not like this pick.
It's just the way I've been seeing it. So I know.
What do you do at that spot? Like if you're in my spot on the board, what have you been doing there regularly?
I take Daniels and try to set up Daniels and Terry.
Yeah.
Shh.
Oh well, watch out for Troyo over here.
Well, that's the problem with doing it from 22, right? Is
God damn it, Nez.
there's 2 cracks at it.
Very original idea of taking the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what?
I've tried it a number of ways. Go ahead. Sorry, you're on the clock.
I don't want naked Daniels, but I'm gonna fucking spite take him now.
Wow. Look at that.
Troy,
No Daniels for you.
Troy, this is blood in the water, dog. Let's go.
Wow.
I'm at the king. Better not miss. Enjoy
Troy-
your Lamar Jackson in a bad matchup, bitch.
Troy's over there saying to himself, get ready to learn Zach Ertz, buddy.
It's a win-win for the spite drafters.
Yeah.
So I've done the McLaurin thing a lot, and then I get it sniped. So now I've been doing Terry. I've been doing Jaden first.
You know what? I'm not done with this either. Viper, you're going to fucking take Jalen Hurts. Guess what, buddy? We're not done drafting Eagles. Enjoy fucking Britton Covey, asshole.
I feel like that kind of makes sense, does it not? To do Saquon and Devontae, isn't that all just like an anti-Hurts bet? Because like you don't want the Hurts passing touchdowns, right? It's like, well, Devontae's getting on the ground, and I think that actually makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, Best Ball Viper. There's no hard feelings there whatsoever. I just needed to get a wide receiver until my only option was fucking Cortland Sutton. No
he's laughing his ass off over there. What's the Chuba pick? I do not see Chuba usually go that early.
Yeah.
What's the GTO Gatorade color? I've been sucking back Gatorade the last 2 days for whatever reason. I got that variety 6-pack, and this is my last one. Which one's your favorite color, guys?
Not red.
I don't think I've like regularly had Gatorade since I was like playing high school basketball.
Right.
Is that something adults still drink?
I don't know. A little sugar water to fuel the old puck guys. Why not?
I'm always like, ask my mom across the bleachers, like, blue.
I used to always be pissed because my dad was being cheap and he'd buy the powder mix-ins for it, and it just never tasted the same as the bottle, and all the other kids with their ice cold bottles and me with my fucking mix-in. Like, how poor, Dad.
How poor.
Do you mix in anything to your water when you work out, Pete? Like, are you like a pre-workout guy? Or are you an electrolyte guy, collagen?
No, I mean, I put a few of those things in my smoothies, but I never do like pre-workout. I have a post-workout smoothie most days.
All
right. We're gonna go Connor here. Sorry, I'm on the clock. Just kind of thinking
Connor,
out loud. I've seen Connor go like late 4th, early in the week. He felt like a pretty good pick. He still feels like a good pick to me, just volume wise, and the way the Bears are, weaker against the ground, and Connor's volume's always been there. So doing that, I did want to do another Falcons onslaught, but I think I need to mix it up slightly. I'm catching some shit for my Falcons love in the Discord. Our guy John's cousin, our guy Mark Zorner here is asked me, you like the Falcons this week? Because I drafted 4 Falcons like 3 drafts in a row.
Wait, is that really your cousin?
No.
No.
Okay.
I just call him that.
How did that nickname come up?
Because originally in the YouTube chat, he was Mark Warner.
Originally, yeah. And then I just don't think he wanted to be associated to John's surname.
Yeah, he's like, I'm way smarter than this guy.
But yeah, this is tough for me. Like, I'm on the clock right now, and like, I got my running back out of the way, and like, I don't feel like I need to take a quarterback just yet. And like Mooney, it's like between Mooney or Ridley for me, and Ridley wasn't spotted at practice. Let me do Sutton. I touted Sutton earlier. It would be a shame if I didn't take Cortland Sutton after proudly saying that he's a good pick in 36-person drafts.
Are you setting up a Bo Nix thing here with him, or do you just like him as a one-off?
I've got outs, bud. I could do Bo Nix. I can do Kirk Cousins. I mean, this is a guy that's burned some entries.
It's almost like you've done a few and you can see into the future. Can you tell me what's in my future right now? Because I've already drafted the rest of this team. I bet you won't even be able to guess what I'm going to do. It's the team is already drafted in my head.
Come on, Jameis.
I don't want to rug you, but are you setting up? I feel like you have a really easy Packers stack coming your way. You've been warming up to. Sorry, you asked, dude.
I wanted you to do that party trick, and I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Were you in my dog bowl draft with me that I did earlier?
No, I was in a BR with John, but I don't think I was in your dog bowl. Okay, so
if you get incredible EV, if you're in a dog bowl draft with me on Friday mid mornings, because I do my cardio club ones there, and I'm just like not paying attention to anything other than I'm on the clock. I'm taking this player I like. So
yeah, those cardio club ones are so negative in EV, but help for the cardio itself.
Wait, that's not how you guys always draft?
The Sims are in my head when I'm running, brother.
Yeah, right. Literally,
it's not even an assault bike draft for you. It's a jog. It's a run.
Yeah, and so I had the first one I did with Reed. I do really like Reed, but this thing with these Packers stacks is like you never want to get overconfident in how they can get home. So I'm gonna have fun building out some different versions of these.
Yeah, take the guy that's running 97% of route.
Who did you? Oh, you wanted Brian Thomas?
Yeah.
Do you want to go off on Viper too? He can get slammed by two different hosts today.
No, Viper's a big mojo guy. He believes in like the energy stuff, and like I don't want to put any negative aura his way.
So you're saying I fucked up?
How so?
Because I went off on it, and you just said he's the positive aura guy, and if I mess with that means the karmic gods are gonna have retribution with me.
Nah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh, there's your boy.
This is the road less traveled here with the Jaden Daniels skinny stack, but to the non-pass catching running back in B-Rob there. That one might low-key be negatively correlated, but it's unique.
I'm glad.
Right?
So I'm glad Troy took Tracy, because I was about to abandon it all for Tyrone Tracy, who the chat has told us about 19 times is playing today. I've never seen, the last time I've seen this amount of enthusiasm was for Jalen Coker before he was actually a good play. So
chat is omniscient.
I love Tyrone Tracy, but there's nothing like a news bomb that they get sprayed in the chat 19 times.
Yeah, we thank you guys. I wasn't sure. I was very ready on the Tyrone Tracy stuff. As soon as I saw the LP during the week, knowing like the concussion being, I mean, shout out Chris G. Chris G is the one that really put me on to these like concussion protocol steps. And as soon as I saw his LP early in the week, I was like, all right, it's time to fire away. So I was being a bit of a Tracy slappy in my earlier dog bowls, but mixing it up here. Obviously, I mean, 5th round is where I would take him. It's not like the best matchup in the world, but I think he's clearly the RB1 in New York. So
he looks fun too.
He's awesome. I mean, and he's pumping up his own bags on Twitter too, talking about.
I love that.
Yeah, like, can you believe I've only been playing this for 2 years? Like that's a good guy. All right, I gotta finish my stack here.
That Kyler price tag, like that little skinny stack in the 5th, 6th round of Marv Kyler feels nice.
With the Swift, with that game script angle, dude, Swift has been so. I feel like what he's doing this year is underrated, and I'm part of the issue. Like, I mean, he's just been so consistent.
It's funny because he was such our community Kabbalah guy. 3 years ago, and then the pendulum swung the other way after he was so inefficient with the Eagles last year.
He also ran just impossibly poor with goal line stuff, right? And not even just tush push. Like that's going to happen. Like he fell down at the one, I swear, 4 or 5 times last year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember that the 1 week I had the 2 T10s, and one of them was a DeAndre Swift one, and just tilting him. I think he only had 10 points on like my 4th place team, and it's just. I'm glad he's working out for other people. Yeah, you don't forget those things.
That's true. He really did kind of do like I mean, I think he's slowly coming back around to everybody's favor. But yeah, I mean, on the Lions, everyone's like, oh man, like why isn't he getting more run? And then we kind of just like threw him in the trash, called him bad. But yeah, this is this looks like a really good spot for him. I don't know what to do here. I got the anxiety vibrates going.
You can hear the pulse.
I know. I'm charging my phone and it's connected to my my desk. I want Komet there. I'm a Komet guy and I like the spot. So
you did the Cousins stack and then the Komet one. Yeah.
I could have done a May Henry thing, but I was kind of counting on Bo Nix, and Luke Miz took him from me.
There's some nice names still on the board here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you think Cedric Tillman can run it back, he's still available. Nick Chubb, if you think he can do anything against the Chargers. Yeah,
I put him on the cover.
I'm a big Chargers respector on the ground, but I think Ramondre is also like one. He's still on the board that that I like. I talked about the Titans defense and thinking that they're just nothing special.
Oh shit! I'm on the clock.
Yeah, I thought you were. I didn't know if you didn't make the pick.
You
need a wide receiver.
Okay. There we go. I think like taking DK and just taking the Q is like fine, especially later in the week.
Yeah.
Just because there's going to be less swappability early in the week, it would probably be bad. But I actually just panic clicked Jalen Waddle first, which is also fine.
Yeah,
it's you got Metcalf.
I got Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you hate to see it. Well, I tried to panic quick Jalen Waddle. I'm probably going to end up with Jalen Waddle then.
Because he'll probably swap if he doesn't play. I can't imagine he's a game time decision. I feel like if he's out, we'll know, so.
Let's quickly recap our teams here for the people. John, read yours, and you'll be learning about what you drafted for the first time as well as you read it off.
Yeah. I went Jaden Daniels, James Cook, Brian Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Taysom Hill. That is a pretty on-brand team for your boy.
Despite Jaden Daniels' pick, but get that correlation with Brian Robinson. Nez, what did you do here?
Yeah, I did something new and decided to do a Falcon stack, and got Drake London stacked with Kirk Cousins, Cortland Sutton as my wide receiver 2, my running backs, Kenneth Walker in the 2nd round, James Conner in the 3rd round, and then finished off with Cole Kmet as my one-off tight end against the Cardinals, still believing in that 2021 flow chart.
I assume have you done a bunch of Kirk with London and Mooney?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I started with Barkley. Nez peered into my future, knew I would hate my 2nd round pick. So I just did the comfy thing and selected Brock Bowers, came back and took Devontae Smith to just really stick it to Best Ball Viper. And then Nez also blew up my spot and could somehow tell that I was going to set up a Jordan Love double stack, even with Jaden Reed off the board. So incredible call, soul reading me there. We finished with Dobbs, Love, and Christian Watson. That goes back to the thing too of like knowing I'm not going to have CLV on these teams, but I don't think a guy like Christian Watson's going to be what, sub 5% dog bowl drafted,
100%
even. So if I punch a dog bowl ticket, it's going to be with some flyers this week, fellas. All right, let's should we spice it up?
Oh yeah,
it's time. We've been waiting for this, man.
Yes. So we mentioned this in the cold open. Very excited about sliders now on the desktop. Previously, this was mobile only, which would make it tricky. I will say when sharing entries, it still is having a hard time carrying them over. So my recommendation would be to hand build these along with us. We will include the links. Maybe what I need to start doing is actually saving screenshots of them.
Yeah.
Because the links when you use the slider don't carry over.
Yeah, I'm sure that's on their radar. But yeah, right now when you share, it's not carrying over. So if you're watching live or watching this back, do this in real time because our links unfortunately are not going to copy and paste for you. But yeah, for content purposes, the sliders on desktop are phenomenal for us, and I think we are on the verge of a new spice category. I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
Like the super duper spice?
Radioactive spice. I mean,
whoa.
Nuclear spice.
Spice.
I'm listening.
I mean, you can do incredible things. Right?
This is what does is okay. You can't even take Bijan to 3 touchdowns. I feel like you should get more than 11.4 if Bijan scores 3 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah, you might have to do a little shopping and comparing when you're building these, but a lot of the time you are getting some fantastic return on your Gigaspice if you're playing the right ones.
Okay, let's start here. I need to get this refreshed. We're gonna start out with our core. We're gonna get 3 picks, one from each of our guts that we think are solid plays this week. Any of you guys want to start us out with anything?
Go ahead.
I had like an interesting little, it's kind of a very similar notion to last week, and then we didn't end up using it. I was perusing for finding multipliers on receptions that are like almost the equivalent of touchdowns, but don't require a touchdown. And Jalen Waddle, 4.5 receptions for a spice just kind of stood out to me. Yeah, you get the 117 for 4 catches or for 4.5 catches. I don't know. It's thin, maybe not like a core play, but it was one of the ones that jumped out to me as something that I liked initially.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I don't not like it. I mean, I think this is a nice way to play. I think Jalen Waddle hasn't quite been the PPR scam, but like he kind of has that archetype, and I think this is a good way to play it is through pick'em. So if you want to keep looking, you can, but I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was.
What do you got, Nez?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Falcons, and I'm actually gonna go to Bijan rushing yards. John fired off those stats. Basically, the TLDR is the Cowboys stink on the ground, and Bijan, I think, is just a very skilled runner. I think we all can agree with that, and I'm just thinking he's just going to have success on the ground. I think he might have more carries than we are used to seeing in the past, and even if he's at that normal 13 to 14 carry mark, he's going to get 74.5 rushing yards. I think with relative ease. He's really coming along strongly. The highest total in on the slate this week. I don't really need to say more about Bijan. He's pretty obviously the man.
Yep. Like that awesome matchup. I mean, really the only way it goes south is if like he is housing screen passes and limiting the rushing volume basically.
Right.
Yeah, and that is a pretty big number on his total yards there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the lean there. I want to do something with the Packers. I want to first take a look at they don't even have Jordan Love up right now.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit so this is the problem. I guess we don't have anything up there except touchdowns for these guys. So that's a bummer because that was an angle that I was excited to play. Let me look at one that is going to be very popular on Redacted. Oh, man, we're not getting yards for Coker.
No.
Okay, we're gonna have to keep looking here. Let's see. I'm trying not to overlap with a few that I did in the Deposit Kingdom video. Let me look at another one here.
Yeah, while you're perusing, Pete, I just want to kind of relay to people the Chase Brown pick'ems because they're live now. They finally have like where they're at. That touchdown Doc was a hedge. He's even multiplier to score a touchdown. 88.5 scrimmage yards, 14.5 rushing attempts, and 2.5 receptions with a spice on the higher. So we're looking around 17 touches for Chase Brown, projection wise, with, close to 90 scrimmage yards and give or take a touchdown. So that's definitely, not like jam worthy, right? Like, I think that you can definitely live with not, putting him in the 4th round for BRs, but I'm going to probably make him a priority regardless.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in this game for mine. I'm gonna go Gesicki here, higher than 3.5 receptions. We are getting a spice on it. His targets in 3 games without T. Higgins this year are 4, 9, and 8. And I like this matchup versus the Raiders here. It has been a pretty solid matchup for opposing tight ends. So getting a little spice, kind of like John's Jalen Waddle there, on a number I think he should clear here a decent amount of the time.
I like it, guys.
They're daring us with Bijan. They subtracted a yard.
All right, so this pays out an 8.21, which is nice for a 3 that's normally at 6x because we're getting those little extra multipliers.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, that's nice. There were 2 more that I just stumbled upon that I low key like. Nick Chubb, 48.5 rushing yards, and Raheem Mostert, 31.5 rushing yards. Those ones stood out to me.
I definitely like the Chubb one. I guess I'm a little worried that Mostert is just a goal line merchant.
Fair enough.
But I don't hate that.
Pete, can you drop that one in the private chat for me, please?
And I will just make sure, just because we know some people are going to be building these after the fact, or audio listeners, I'll just quickly read these off so you guys know exactly what's on them as I refresh this here. Bijan, higher than 73.5 rushing yards. Jalen Waddle, higher than 4.5 receptions. That'll come with a boost. And then Mike Gesicki, higher than 3.5 receptions, will come with a boost as well.
Nice. An evergreen reminder to click that little present before you submit it to see if you guys got any bonuses, some boostobers to add. Oh, I guess it's November 1st today, so maybe the boostobers are behind us, but yeah.
Yes. Okay, where do we want to head next, fellas, as part of our menu? Should we get in the game stack mindset? We were once again very close last week.
Yeah, damn, were we ever? Yeah, and we were close last night again too there. Yeah.
Oh, on the Shipcast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I actually
felt really good about those Mixon and the Adam stuff, which were our highest conviction ones, and then the Brees just doesn't get home.
Yeah, I built the second half one, but with Adams instead of the Tank Dell touchdown score, so that one got home.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that Adams TD was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, which game do you guys want to go? I'm bummed that Packers one isn't on the menu because I always love doing Jordan Love. Nez, seems like you might like the Falcons game just a little bit.
Yeah, if that's like a boring chalk pick, we can maybe try to pivot, but that's like clearly where my head's at. But I'm willing to entertain other options. Like maybe you want to do a Joe Flacco led Colts team against the Vikings with, a good spot, potential back and forth option there.
Ooh, Sunday night or cheeky?
Okay, Sunday night. Yeah.
It is Sunday night. You're right. Dang it.
The 2 I would float, as I think there could be maybe some value, would be Saints Panthers. I know that we just tried to pull up the Coker and there wasn't, but we could look at that. And then I would also mention Bengals Raiders. I'm envisioning a lot of garbage time, like PPR scam stuff for the Raiders in this spot. So you could play some angles there.
Second week in a row, Pete, that we are seeing the field similarly when it comes to the slop it up, because I picked 3 games on the side here. Those were 2 of them. The other one was Chargers Browns. to potentially play in a through the air. This is the new regime of both of those teams, where pass rate over expectation with Jameis and pass rate over expectation due to personnel on the other side is looking more to the air now. So I'm good with those ones. I think if we can get some Saints stuff, I would prefer the Saints one of the grouping. If we could get some Carolina stuff, but let's take a peek.
Nez, do you have any? Yeah, let's just see what's in here for Carolina.
Yeah, let's check out this NFC South matchup. I think we can maybe envision some fun things happening here.
The Pac-12 of the NFL.
Why is this?
It's not loading the game on desktop for you?
Yeah. I might just scroll down to it as opposed to doing the search and see if that helps us.
For what it's worth, I'm getting the same error when I search the game as well. So
I have it up.
Okay.
We want to
let me
pull up my screen.
Here, I should be good if I just scroll down to it. That's what we do around here. We scroll down.
That's right.
Okay, Bryce Young, 174.5 passing yards. Derek Carr, 235.5. Taysom, they know we're coming for him. Great out right now. Great out. Chuba, 64.5 rushing yards. The bummer is
yardage here.
No yardage here for the Carolina stuff. Like, I want to scam the youth movement here, like Jatavian Sanders, Coker, and Leggett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder
so
why.
Maybe this isn't a fruitful spot to attack right here.
No, because I don't want to take 2 Carolina touchdowns.
No.
No, thank you.
Let's look at Cincy, Las Vegas then.
Okay.
Because I think there are some fun game script angles we can take. Oh, also, Nez, the negative spice on a Brown TD is now gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was clearly like hey, we don't want to get taken for a ride while we figure out what to do with Chase Brown. And then they decided to make it even.
So I really like Jacoby Myers this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a strong play. We already have my Gesicki lean that could be part of this, but Myers higher than 52.5 receiving yards or the reception angle. We could obviously go with Brown scoring a touchdown. Any angles you guys like in this game?
What's your preference for Jacoby, John? Do you have a lean on that? I like him either way.
I would take the yardage.
Okay. Let's throw that in there.
He's at a 30% air yard share with Devontae Adams out, so he gets used down the field a good bit.
Okay,
yeah, so I like that.
I like Gesicki, Jacoby.
He had a nice touchdown grab last week too.
He's a good player,
that it matters just in general.
I don't mind. Again, we'll get a doc with the correlation, but if we just want to play Raiders trailing game script, something with either Minshew yards or attempts, there's always bench risk with him. But
the other one I kind of like here is this Brock Bowers PPR scam getting a boost at the 6.5 receptions.
Yeah. I mean, last week was a down game in a tough spot. Nez warned us, and he still had 5 for 58. So 7 receptions for a 1.12. I'm not going to turn my nose up at that.
I like playing it through that.
Let me check.
Nez, you got one you like in here?
I think Jamar Chase will score a touchdown.
Do you like Chase, or which Chase do you like more? Because they're both even money.
Yeah, I think I like Jamar Chase. I mean, I know I was talking about Chase Brown, but I don't know, man. Jamar Chase without T. Higgins just feels like it's got touchdown written all over him. And I think we usually do play touchdown, usually to get a spice, but I like Chase to score a touchdown. If you guys are not a fan of an event-based pick like that, we can always pivot. But my gut tells me Chase is fine in the end zone in this game.
Okay, how about no quarterbacks in this one, and maybe we run it twice. This one's got no quarterbacks. I got Jacoby Myers for the receiving yards. I got the Gesicki higher. I got the Jamar Chase touchdown. I got the Chase Brown total yardage, 89.5, including the receiving stuff. And Brock Bowers with the spiced up 6.5 receptions gets us to almost 26x.
Yeah, so it's what I built so far, and then just adding
so
the new one.
literally what Pete's already done. Oh yeah, thanks.
Well, we've been building it together. We've gone one by one.
No, I mean, like, I thought I was like ahead of the curve there for like half a second. That like you only had 3 in the thing still.
No, we were down to 1 more pick.
I'm gonna let it slide, John. You've had a long morning. It's all good, man.
Oh, what an idiot I am. Oh, that was so good.
The best part about this is it's almost like a clean 40 for 1K if we do this.
Are you saying, because how about if we run the I want to hear the split you were going to propose, because the one split I would do is, what if you just run it twice? So like, say I'm going to do $50 on this, do one that's 25 on this, and then the other one you do Chase Brown touchdown, Jamar Chase yards.
Yeah.
And split the touchdowns those ways.
Exactly.
Perfect. Was that your split?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this is GameStack version 1. And again, for our audio listeners, Gesicki higher than 3.5 receptions, Jacoby higher than 52.5 receiving yards, Brock higher than 6.5 receptions, Chase to score a TD, Chase Brown higher than 89.5 rushing yards. Then we are going to reuse this, but we are going to flip out the chases. We're going to go Chase Brown scores a touchdown, and Jamar Chase goes higher than 84.5 receiving yards for the exact same multiplier.
Love it.
That's fun. That's fun.
And then this feels like I did the Deposit Kingdom week. I did a split touchdown one, and I'm now blanking on what it was, and both of them hit. So that's the other fun thing too. Like in the Bengals Smash, if you can sweep both of these two, could be nice. Okay. So we have the split there. Do we want
links for those, Pete?
Yes, my bad. I'll put these in both chats here. There's the links. Just a reminder that on the links, some of actually all of those should carry over, because we didn't do any sliders on those.
Yeah, it should be good.
Okay. Do we want to do one more game stack, or because we don't like some of the menu options right now to hold off?
Well, let's take a look at either the Sunday night one that Nez suggested or the Dallas Atlanta one that Nez suggested. Let's just take a peek.
We haven't done a Sunday night one before. Let's just take a look at that one first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Josh Downs is like the very exciting place to start. Yeah.
Yeah. However you want to attack that, I think makes sense. I mean, I think yardage is just a very simple, clean way to do it. 1x multiplier. We think he's going to hit the higher. You don't have to worry about any multipliers with that. Just
62.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We don't need to go sliders yet.
Do you know who you fucking slide is Alec Pierce?
That's my God. And John and Pete, you know where you slide it.
Oh, you slide it up.
Longest reception.
Oh,
14.5 longest reception. Are you kidding me? They're giving you 39.5 for the longest reception on Alec Pierce. I mean, get out of town.
Yeah. Are we going to get this aggressive off the rip here?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's not like in our game. That's not typically how we do these game stacks. I think
this is something we do in the embarrassment of our own home without telling people, of like how we slid Alec Pierce to 140 yards receiving.
This is how you get the promos and other people don't. Like, how come you get that? Like, because buddy, I'm sliding up Alec Pierce longest reception to 49.5.
Yeah. That was like Davis, who did whatever he said. He martingaled it for the first like 5 or whatever weeks. The Keon Coleman, he slid it to 100 every single week, and then the week which they get Amari Cooper and Coleman goes for 100, he didn't slide it because they got Amari Cooper.
God bless him. That's funny.
That's when you found yourself in a dark place, when you're martingaling a slide on Pick'em every single week.
Okay.
So good.
I think we go TJ Hawkinson next, right? Do you guys all agree that they were like slow playing this Hawkinson game for him to kind of just be full bore when the time comes? And I mean, I think 38.5 is just like clean and simple for this.
I like that call.
I agree with you, Nez.
let's see here. I will admit, like, I have not like done any research or looking at projections for this game, so I'm kind of flying the
No,
lines
me neither.
here.
That's what's great.
Okay.
I
Aaron
think you
Jones
just
was smashing the ETR stuff.
Okay.
He was ahead of, for the Thursday, Sunday night slate, he was the highest player on the slate.
He's
So what do
like
you
their
think, total
version of
yards?
Mixon.
Yeah. But Mixon was on that slate and he was ahead of Mixon.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
100 scrimmage yards.
Scrimmage yards or rushing? I always like having the out with
I like that.
guys like him to have the double out with scrimmage.
Yeah, agreed. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I think
longest
this game could
reception for
potentially
him
be a
is
little
not
back and
crazy
forth.
either.
Oh, really?
What do we think about Flacco just chucking it in this spot on the road against Minnesota? They just turned to him, ready to let him air it out.
How about getting a little spice on the 2 touchdowns? 2 passing touchdowns?
2 passing touchdowns. How's Minnesota's run defense?
Well,
Find out.
they started off like super hot, and lately have looked vulnerable. I mean, losing 2 games in a row, they just like are looking more and more mortal. And now they get Jonathan Taylor. I think it's to the point where like you just are not scared of Jonathan Taylor in this spot. But maybe it's like Flacco gets them down the field, and maybe we do JT touchdown.
They're top 10 in almost every pressure generating category. They're number 2 in blitz rate. So that bodes well for like quick dump off stuff, especially for an immobile quarterback like Flacco. So like JT,
You like completions?
receiving stuff is in play. And then in terms of their run defense, they are number 1 in EPA allowed per rush. They are number 1 in success rate. They are number 1, in basically yards per carry per attempt. Like their run defense has been elite. Their run defense has been elite, and their blitzing has been elite.
I just feel like they're kind of getting figured out a little bit.
I kind of like passing attempts for Flacco. I mean, his previous 2 games, he was at 38 and 44. You got to imagine this is a bit of a negative game script. He's going to have a long hook, right? Like Joe Flacco's not getting benched at his first game day starter.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. Let's do that.
And then we need one more. Like, we haven't done a touchdown. J. Jeff giving you a slight positive thing. You could correlate with something with Pittman, knowing he's always on the menu when Flacco's playing. Anything else you guys like? Someone mentioned a Naylor lower with Hawkinson back. That kind of correlates, but is.
I mean, if I was to pick, if we're cool with a 15x on 5 here, I would do JT to score, even money for JT to score. I mean, if they're anywhere close to the red end zone, it's the ball in his belly, and he can always break one off too.
I guess the only thing I would say is, what do you like better, Taylor to score or Jefferson at a slight multiple?
I guess Jefferson.
What are the implied team totals for this game?
I feel like it's like a 46.5. Like,
I got you.
25.75 for Minnesota and 20.75 for Colts.
Yeah. 46
maybe-
and a half total.
Maybe break that to Jefferson.
Yeah, 6 points more on the one side, or 5.5 more.
Yeah, and it does bode better for the Flacco attempts too. I think, right? If like, we're counting on a touchdown from Jefferson in the air. I think that makes sense.
All right, sweet. Here you go. The rare Sunday night football sweat from the off and on the clock crew here. Josh Downs higher 62.5 receiving yards. Hawkinson higher 38.5 receiving yards. Aaron Jones higher than 99.5 scrimmage yards. Joe Flacco higher than 35.5 passing attempts, and Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown.
I like it.
I got great news for the community and bad news for Pete.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
61.5 on the down stuff now for the community.
Oh, dude, it got ripped from me. Dang it. I got to reuse this. What the heck? Or maybe it just didn't show up. What the heck just happened there? Yeah, it was just a display thing. False alarm.
Okay.
Lots of chat news rolling in right now, which is interesting stuff. Brian Robinson Jr. Q tag. Ridley will play. Spears out. Pollard Q. Metcalf out. Fant out. Yeah.
Wow. Spears out.
Mhm.
Pollard's playing. Like, are they gonna roll with Julius Chestnut?
Yeah.
I think that was a Pollard vet rest, heal the foot thing, because you're about to get 25 touches in this game, buddy.
Right.
Holy shit, that's pretty massive, man. I mean, I'm projecting here. Pollard could sit. I don't think he's going to sit.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We saw. Sorry, last one,
Yeah.
Pete. We saw Madison go in the last round of our dog bowl draft. There, Zamir White's officially questionable after not practicing, and that Bengals run defense is putrid. So that's like a low key dog bowl spot too.
For sure. Yeah, I think he's even on the scroll menu.
Nice.
And yeah, like if you think about his workload's not going to be really that different than James Conner. Like the team totals aren't that different.
Right.
All right. Should we spice it up here with some either TDs or sliders? Like there's lots we can do here.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. A small part of me died last week when Kyle Pitts spiced it up twice and we didn't have the slider in
right
there.
combo. Yeah. Oh, the 2 touchdowns. All right. Where do we think a game could get nutty in a way touchdowns or slides could happen here?
I mean, if you wanted to play game environment again, just the fact that we don't have anything else to click on, that Saints Carolina one could be an interesting, just like 2 spice, 3 spice mix there. If you wanted to play like a spice one, just because we're getting a piece of everything, but it's really thin. That game.
What do you want to spice in that game?
You know who I want to spice.
It's not even available for me. It's been grayed out.
Oh, they're shook right now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
if you're asking me, I think, like, would you be surprised at all if Tyreek Hill has 100 receiving yards this week?
Not at all.
Slide that bitch up.
Right. Okay.
If it's not spice enough for you, that's fine. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're saying so the equivalent odds basically. So his touchdown is now where did it go?
His touchdown's 1-2-2.
And I was trying to see what was the comparable on that for yards.
So it's weird whenever you do adjust on desktop and like try to search it, for whatever reason it kind of disappears. So they're still like working through some kinks, I believe.
Tyreek for the 99.5 is 1.51.
Right. So like 80, it's like basically saying, what do you think's at the same price is a TD or 89.5? And then if you just add 10 more yards, you get up to a 1.5.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that call, Nez. I also, man, I really want to do something with this Detroit and Green Bay game.
I know you're dying to. Let's figure out what we can throw in here.
I do really like the spot for Amon-Ra as well. I'm trying to think here, like
he's getting 1.12 on a touchdown.
Yeah. I think you could take him up receiving yards or receptions. I mean, Amon-Ra for 8 receptions is a 1.48.
Holy shit.
1.48.
And to me, this is like, you look at that game against Minnesota, right? Where that was like one of the other few games where they actually got pushed to have to like throw a little bit, and he had 8 receptions. Like, I think they're going to have to throw the ball a bit in this game against Green Bay.
Okay, that's fun. 7.5 receptions and 99.5 yards for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. So that gets us up to a 6.7. So we could play a TD, or we could stay on theme, like star wide receiver who we slide on up.
Well,
You want to do an AJ Brown? We were
AJ,
talking about
oh
him
my
breaking
god, I
it.
literally just typed in his name. Yeah.
All right, we're in lockstep. Because man, when he's hitting, like, do you want to do longest reception or yards?
You get 146 on 99.5.
longest reception.
Longest reception.
That's a bad joke. You can't catch a 100-yard pass.
Yeah, what do you like more? 1.46 for 99.5 or a 1.97 for a 40-yard bomb?
I've got a really bad one.
I think the total feels safer. But
Which number do you like? 99.5?
99.5. That gets us to 20x. Like
That's a
feels
nice.
Good. Yeah.
I
was gonna say something stupid, like 2 touchdowns for 4x.
This pick'em says if this pick'em hits, you are gonna want a late slot in your BR drafts this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's in the 6-7 turn or 1-2 turn.
Yeah, this is the 6-hole pick'em.
Do you guys want to lock this in as a core, a spice
Love it.
core?
Yeah, spice core it is.
So you know what? We're gonna rebrand this. We're gonna call it a slider core.
Slider core.
Core. Since we
because you have to like do it yourself.
What's the GTO sliders? Probably pulled pork, right?
I think that maybe just old fashioned.
Yeah, little beef sliders.
You know, actually, no. I'll give you a dark horse, dude. It was my nephew's birthday party last year, and my sister-in-law did lobster sliders.
Whoa,
that slapped. That slapped.
That's a game changer. How rich?
Yeah, that's a
holy shit.
That's a northeast. Like that's an adjacent to Atlantic Ocean move right there.
Yes.
Atlantic Ocean.
All right, let's do another slide. Do you want to do like a running back themed or a tight end? Like the tight end ones always give us. Do we have to get McBride's coming on? Can we do a reception slide with McBride?
I mean, we can't do a touchdown one with him.
No.
It's so Jover.
No, it would be 8 receptions.
Yeah,
look at his reception. He's done 9, 5, and 8. And they are going to dare let us 2x an 8 reception game from Trey McBride here.
I like that. We get the other one that it pairs well with, in my estimation, I was thinking Evan Ingram reception slider. And that would be my preferred
we're not
way
getting
to play.
receptions on them.
Come
They're
on.
scared.
Oh, the PPR monster.
Guys, have we not learned from our mistakes? We're not doing McBride TD. Let's just not swim upstream. He just wants to catch dink and dunks. We'll capitulate.
We are not martingaling that here.
2 things, Pete. People are asking for the link to the Spice Core in the chat.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Please and thank you.
Slider Core, please.
Slider Core, yeah.
Good luck with that, because that might not hit. You might just need to pause and rewind. But
I think Lou Dog might have named it appropriately. The sloppy sliders.
Sloppy Joe sliders.
Sloppy Joe sliders. Right. There you go.
Let's look at the Brock. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to suggest Njoku touchdown was 1.4x when I saw, or one. Shit, I just moved it, but it was a
1.72.
7.2. Yeah, that's where.
All this guy does is score tutties.
It is true.
Njoku?
Yeah.
Let's do it. What you said 1.72 to score a touchdown?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
All right.
It's also a nice little portfolio hedge, because we were talking about in the BRs how we're going to fade that middle tier of tight end.
Yeah,
it's true. So
we could just adjust the Brock. I mean, we put Brock in the the thing at the 6.5. I mean, we could take him up to 7.5 for a 1.62. Wow.
Okay.
Just one extra catch to go from 1.12 to 1.62.
Yep.
Come on now.
That's a 34x on this one, fellas.
Come on.
The sliders are so fun.
Dude, the PPR, the reception merchants, this is how we don't get our full points on Underdog, but we can get our PPR scams.
Right.
In the sloppy sliders.
Get their equity here.
Yeah, let's slop that up before they slip it away.
Our lingo out here is just like incomprehensible at this point.
It's brain rot, is what it is.
Be a piece of shit.
All right, so like my naming conventions on these now. This is the tight end sloppy Joe sliders of the week.
Yeah, love it.
Oh my god.
Slop them up.
All right,
Yeah,
how about this?
everyone's asking where Taysom is. Taysom got removed from
He
the
got
lobbies
pulled.
because they knew we were coming for him.
Yeah. Let's do a running back themed one, and then I got to do a few things
Okay,
off
sure.
air. So let's get our running back caps on. Who's going off for a big game? We wanted to do something with Chubb, right?
I like the yardage on Chubb. Yes.
Okay.
Do we want to scale him? Slide him?
Potentially, yeah.
Two ways to do this, in my opinion. Either longest rush or rushing yards. But John, you're the Chubb whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't go with. I like the total yardage for Chubb. I think he's a little bit more of a plotter than he used to be, kind of deal. Yeah, I'd probably get out of the. I mean, total yardage as in rushing yards. I'd steer clear of receiving work with it when it comes to Chubb. 69.5 seems feasible. 79.
I like that at 1.79. Yeah. That feels like the sweet spot. You're living a little, but you're not living too much.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
Nez, what running back is undervalued this week? Who's going to pop off?
Well, I was checking out my boy Tracy. No yardage yet on him.
Pollard 71.5.
He's up.
Yeah.
Well, we can't slide him. Are we
trying?
They're not letting us. This is the running back sloppy Joe slider segment of the week, presented by Big Sloppy Joes.
My Hormel. I like Kyron Williams, man, but we're talking massive totals on this guy. Could you do 2 tutties?
Wow. What does that even get us?
Is that
2.27? I feel like, oh man, on the road.
Okay.
Look at Seattle's defense right now, because they have been starting to get healthier.
What about a Gibbs? I mean, Gibbs has just been ripping off these long runs.
Lord Reeves today dropped like the nugget of the century that Jahmyr Gibbs essentially always hits his longest rush.
16.5. I mean,
I believe he said
Jahmyr,
92% of the time.
Oh my god, this 5.35 makes me feel things.
Let's do it.
I mean, I'm willing to get walked back to the 29.5 for 2.7x.
This is the sloppiest of sloppiest. We are going all the way in on this Jahmyr Gibbs one. He ripped off 71 last week.
I mean, this guy, he only gets 10 carries a game, and one of them goes for 50 yards every game.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I also don't mind a Kenneth Walker call too.
All right.
Gonna get some O-line help back probably too. George Fant probably coming back this week.
Should we look at the Kenny?
Yeah.
And man, they might get 2 O-linemen back this week in both Lucas and Fant.
His rushing yards have not been great of late. That's the thing. He's a little hard to slide.
Yeah, we're not getting combined
yards to slide. Yeah,
but you could do I feel like he's a home run hitter, is he not? Could we get a longest rush on this guy?
Ooh, that's a good shout, Nez.
Like if he's gonna do it.
Yeah, 29.5. We won't go Jahmyr Gibbs style. We'll go like a little more tepid expectation.
So I will just say this one's already at a 28x. We could probably we could do the 1.4 on 19.5.
Okay.
I like it.
That's still an 84x. So
that's elite. Okay, Lucas. Maniacal. Frankie saying in the chat that Lucas won't come back. He was limited all week in terms of practice, but all right.
This is good. Let's fire this up.
Dude, my favorite thing here is the battle on where this Reeves nug originated. We got one person saying it was here on Davis's show, but Reeves is going around, just the man about town, also dropping it last night on Roto. This little nugget slut, Lord Reeves.
I love it.
This is fun. Oh my God. 25 for a couple racks here.
Hope you're not in your champions pool there, buddy. You're taking all the cash.
Yeah. Yeah. Massachusetts, watch the fuck out for me this weekend. All right, guys. This was fun. We got the nose strip stream tonight. What is that?
Yes.
10 Eastern? Nez?
Yeah, 10 Eastern tonight.
Okay. John, what do you got going on in your neck of the woods? Are you guys doing any hoop stuff today?
No hoop stuff today. Shutting it down for the weekend. Smelling the roses. I'm done. I'm done. We'll be back Monday for the winner's circle. I do think that the definitive preview from Wednesday, was it, Nez? I do think a lot of it still holds true. There hasn't been a ton of moving pieces, and I think a lot of the good macro stuff we talked about game environment still holds true. So if people want to roll it back and watch that one.
Awesome.
I would agree.
What do I got? I got After Dark on Saturday. A guest, if you guys have watched the Badge Bros, he was on their winner's circle, I think a couple weeks ago after he punched his dog bowl ticket. Dave, super sharp drafter, second year, getting a dog bowl seat, does some behind the scenes work at ETR. Excited to have him on. We might do a little programming on the head-to-head if it works. I know those guys, there's a lot on the line for them, and who knows if the logistics will work out, but we're going to try to get that on After Dark if it pans out. And then Sunday, the cram there as well, Sunday at 10:30 a.m. But I think that is it. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Oh, and the Deposit Kingdom video, I'm going to go get that uploaded right now when we finish.
What are you going to mush this week, Pete?
Well, you're not going to like it. You're gonna be pretty pissed at the cover boy. You're gonna be pretty pissed. I'm pretty sure we touched on a couple of them on the show. So yeah, you can check that out. And I mentioned it at the top, but I did kind of a little deeper dive in the evergreen strategy about like when to draft and looking at some specific angles you guys can take depending on when you draft. So check that out.
Sorry, I cut you off twice. My bad.
No, you're good.
I'm a piece of shit. I did do a little evergreen segment to start the members video yesterday. I think I did about 15 minutes there just talking about, I don't know, projections and interpreting.
I gave you a little shout on that at the beginning too.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Yeah. So if you guys are members and you haven't watched it yet, I know like people just skim over it because they're like, oh, it's a hoop stream or whatever. The first 15 minutes, I didn't timestamp it, but the first 15 minutes I think is pretty applicable to the football stuff as well. And just good evergreen conversation.
Awesome. All right. Appreciate you guys. Good luck this weekend. And I'm sure we will see some of you in the Badge Bros Winner's Circle on Monday. Peace.